one of the challenges, we were having this discussion earlier, and we're thinking, how can we demonstrate the value of good corporate governance to the SME sector? What approaches, what stories do we need to tell? How can we show people that this is actually good for you? It's like when you're prescribed medicine, it might be bitter, but you know that it's good for you ultimately. So how can we administer this pill of corporate governance to our SMEs in Uganda? And I'm looking at Sarah and Daniel and saying, in your experiences in working with various SMEs, maybe you can share some stories about what good governance has done to contribute to SME success, but also what challenges SMEs have to overcome to get to a point where corporate governance is embedded in the way they run their businesses.
Okay, I'll just start off by sharing a story of Finfort that's seated right next to me, Daniel. Please allow me to. So we at FSDU, through the deal flow facility, we work with businesses, usually in the growth stage. And like I mentioned earlier, we do assessments, and part of the assessment is to look at the corporate governance structure. Many of the businesses that we have assessed in the last few years actually fall short in that area. And so when it comes to when they need to raise capital to be able to scale their businesses, this is one of the challenges that most of the businesses face. Some businesses have some form of corporate governance that they've put in place, but it doesn't really work. They have a structure. When you go to meet with them, they will show you who the board chair is and who the other directors are. In some cases, especially for family-run businesses, you find that the board is management. And there's no, there are no independents on this board. So it's really painful when you have to work with businesses that really need to scale. They have the potential, but they've been limited by just the lack of corporate governance. So when we assessed Finfort was one of those organizations that, yes, they did have some gaps and areas of improvement. However, they had a strong corporate governance structure in place. So when we went through the matching process, we were able to get investors who were happy to invest in Finfort simply because they had independent assurance from their board of directors that one, the financials are accurate and reliable, that the business is in good health, it's got checks and balances, it's got internal controls, and so the investor's money is actually secure.